The church was alive with anticipation. Guests adorned in vibrant Asoebi fabrics filled every pew, their chatter and laughter echoing through the grand hall. The choir's melodious hymns added to the atmosphere, and the faint scent of freshly arranged flowers lingered in the air. At the center of it all was Oluwatoyin Adebayo, a bride whose beauty seemed almost otherworldly. Her smooth glowing skin reflected the soft light of the church. Her eyes, framed by long lashes, sparkled with innocence and charm. Her smile was as gentle as a morning breeze, but beneath it lay a heart filled with nervous anticipation. Oluwatoyin's father, Pastor Adebayo, stood proudly at the pulpit, his white agbada flowing elegantly. Known as a man of unshakable faith, he was a respected figure in their community. His wife, Mama Toyin, radiated warmth and elegance, her joy evident in the way she greeted every guest with a smile. The groom, Tunde Oladele, a man of remarkable character and stature, stood at the altar. His admiration for Oluwatoyin was no secret. She was his dream come true. Today is a day of celebration, he had told his friends earlier, because I am marrying not just a beautiful woman, but a virtuous one. As the ceremony was about to begin, Oluwatoyin felt a wave of nausea. She clutched her stomach, her radiant face suddenly pale. What's wrong? Her mother asked, rushing to her side. Oluwatoyin tried to respond, but before she could, she doubled over and vomited. Gasps echoed through the church. The guests whispered among themselves as Oluwatoyin was helped out of the hall. A family doctor, urgently called to attend to her, suggested a hospital visit. Hours later, the bombshell dropped. Oluwatoyin was 3 weeks pregnant. Oluwatoyin Adebayo was the pride of her family, a beacon of righteousness and virtue. Raised in the home of Pastor Adebayo and his wife, her life had been one of discipline, godliness, and unwavering faith. Even as she prepared to leave for university, her parents prayed earnestly over her, entrusting her to God and believing that a light would shine among her peers. Oluwatoyin's beauty was a beacon at her university. Her charm wasn't just in her radiant skin or graceful smile, but in the aura of purity and kindness that surrounded her. Her modest dressing and dignified demeanor set her apart in a campus culture often dominated by trends. Many young men admired her from afar, but some mustered the courage to approach her. Her arrival at the university marked the beginning of a new chapter, but it also brought her into the company of Ronke, her assigned roommate. Ronke was the very embodiment of what Oluwatoyin had been taught to avoid: worldly, reckless, and driven by the allure of fleeting pleasures. Her late-night escapades, bold fashion choices, and carefree laughter often startled Oluwatoyin, who met these behaviors with patience and quiet prayers. It was not long before the Adebayo family began hearing whispers of Ronke's reputation. Concerned but steadfast, Pastor Adebayo dismissed the worries of others. Toyin's face will stand firm, he told his wife one evening. Perhaps by God's grace, she will lead her to the light. As the months turned into years, Oluwatoyin remained unwavering in her principles. Ronke, however, grew increasingly envious of her roommate's serenity and unblemished reputation. Behind her vibrant smile, Ronke harbored a growing bitterness fed by comparison she overheard from others. Months passed. The bond between Oluwatoyin and Ronke seemed unshaken. With the final exams behind them, Oluwatoyin's family began preparation for her wedding. Pastor Adebayo had found a suitor for his beloved daughter, a young, successful man named Tunde, who shared their faith and values. The union was a dream come true for the Adebayo family. The news of her condition spread like wildfire. 3 weeks pregnant, the doctor announced. Shaking his head, Oluwatoyin's eyes widened in disbelief. "It's not possible," she stammered, clutching the holy book she carried everywhere. "I've never been with a man." Her parents were stunned. Pastor Adebayo's anger erupted like a storm. "You have brought shame to this family," he bellowed. Ignoring her tears, gossip swept through their church and community, and the wedding was called off. In a fit of rage, Pastor Adebayo disowned both Oluwatoyin and her mother, accusing them of deceit and immorality. Leave my house, he growled. I will not let you tarnish my name any further. Forced to relocate to Lagos, Oluwatoyin and her mother faced unimaginable challenges. The meager savings Mama Toyin had managed to gather were barely enough to secure a small-room apartment. This turned into weeks as they struggled to make ends meet, with Oluwatoyin taking on odd jobs while dealing with the whispers of neighbors who assumed the worst. Despite their hardships, Oluwatoyin remained steadfast in her faith. Her evenings were spent in prayer, her cries to God filled with questions and pleas for strength. She clung to her belief in her innocence, even when doubt crept in during her darkest moments. Months later, she gave birth to a baby boy. The child, though born under controversial circumstances, brought a glimmer of hope to their lives. Mama Toyin, ever resourceful, started a small business, selling homemade snacks. As the days turned into weeks, the reality of her situation weighed heavily on Oluwatoyin. Late one night, after tucking her newborn son into his crib, she sat by the window, staring at the moonlight filtering through the curtains. Her mind raced as she replayed her time at the university. Every interaction, every moment of her carefully guided life came under scrutiny. How could this have happened to me? She thought. I've never been with a man. God knows my heart. Tears streamed down her face as doubt crept in. What if she had somehow sinned unknowingly? What if this was a punishment? She buried her face in her hands, silently crying. Then she tried to scroll her mind back to her school days to see if she had actually committed any sin. Then the memory of Deji came rushing to her mind. Deji, a quiet but wealthy engineering student. After this meeting, he approached Toyin with a small gift, a devotional book. I thought you might like this, Deji said, his voice nervous but sincere. Toyin accepted it with a warm smile. Thank you, Deji. That's very thoughtful of you. Encouraged by her kindness, Deji started sending her messages, often asking if they could pray together or discuss the Bible. Though his intentions seemed genuine, Toyin sensed his growing feelings. One evening, she decided to address it. Deji, I appreciate your friendship and your effort to grow in faith, she said gently, but I need you to understand that I am not looking for a relationship right now. Let's keep our interactions focused on fellowship. Deji nodded, his face falling slightly. I understand. Toyin, thank you for being honest. Ronke, however, was less understanding. Deji is loaded. Toyin, do you know what could mean for your future? She said, her tone sharp. You're wasting opportunities. Toyin shook her head. Ronke, my world isn't tied to material things. Deji will find someone better suited for him. Ronke's frustration grew, not just because Toyin rejected their attention, but because it highlighted her own insecurities. Then, Ronke muttered of that can actually be a sin. But as she was talking to herself, Mama Toyin entered the room quietly, her motherly instincts alerting her to her daughter's distress. She sat beside Oluwatoyin and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Toyin, she began softly, you've been blaming yourself, haven't you? She said. Oluwatoyin looked up, her tears illuminated by the faint light. Mommy, I don't understand. I've never done anything wrong. Why is this happening to me? Am I being punished? Mama Toyin put her daughter into an embrace. My child, God doesn't work that way. I believe you. I know your heart and your character. This isn't your fault.